Sierra Leone. Welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV Television and AYV Radio 101.7 FM.
Well, whether you're watching us or listening to us from the provinces or in the capital city on Channel 33 or on DSTV Channel 399 from across Africa, welcome.
If you're watching us from around the world on our socials, YouTube and Facebook, we're happy that you are with us today, the 24th April 2026. My name is Lilia Martha.
And I am Sonia Jafar. Welcome to the show. We are broadcasting live from the top of Tower Hill in the heart of the city. Send us your comments through our socials on AYV News Facebook page on the stories that we cover.
And today it is 75 years of the Sierra Leone People's Party. We will reflect on the party's journey in Sierra Leone's political history. Founded in 1951, it led the country to independence under Milton Magai in 1961. Succeeded by his brother Albert Magai after its defeat in 1967, it would later be proscribed due to the one-party system under Sheikh Stevens.
Well, the party returned to power in 1996 under Ahmed Tijan Kaba, steered post-war recovery, and was voted out 11 years later. It returned to power in 2018, led by Julius Maada Bio. At 75, its stories reflect resilience while raising questions about legacy, performance, and relevance in today's government.
Also on the program, we will be talking to Joel Howard Taylor, the former Vice President, former Senator, and former First Lady of Liberia. She will be talking about the African Women Leadership Conference that has just ended in Freetown. She's just been made president of the influential African Women Network. What does that mean? We will also ask her about her views of the region and Sierra Leone in particular. We will take a look at the offensive Waterloo dump site situated right at Freetown's gateway, spewing putrid and causing a health hazard to hundreds of people who are either its neighbors or its residents.
And away from the stage, we will talk about beauty and beautiful. But let's play a clip from the Pageantry.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like Wakeup SIM Copper.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe, and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me money, Michael. Can if I can say you give me discount people in not to in Andy.
Today you pay me money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now you not send me money and 10 you not give me back me money. Today, give me money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I dey able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we able send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party be know this, we not follow the party grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean, now me not. Una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you dey able to send money, even if you not use app, even if you not the online, directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with Afri Money. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. Afri Money, quick and easy.
Again, it's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day. Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina. Share happiness.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes out waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sierra juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We last test show say Sierra juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now make we always they choose Sierra juice. Sierra juice is nutritious, it's healthy and it's sweet. Sierra juice, not the taste of Salone. Well, welcome back. Urgent to reminder that this is Wakeup Sierra Leone on AYB television and radio in Freetown, Sierra Leone. Let's now go to Waterloo, a rapid growing peri-urban area just outside Freetown, founded in 1890 as a settlement for liberated slaves and soldiers. It is now a major bustling commercial center in the Western Rural District. It is the gateway connecting Freetown to the provinces with a huge potential which many believe is becoming an eyesore. It has a young and energetic population and hardworking men and women.
It also has a largely uneducated construction system, easily avoidable.
Standing here at the city's main dirt pile station, locally known as Bome, where piles of waste continues to grow every day. And for residents living nearby, this site is more than just an eyesore. It's a serious health challenge. With the rains now setting in, the situation becomes even worse as flooding spreads dirt, stench and disease into surrounding communities. Today, we standing here at the city's main dirt pile station, locally known as Bome, where piles of waste continues to grow every day. And the rains now setting in, the situation becomes even worse as flooding spreads dirt, stench and disease into surrounding communities. Today, we take a closer look at life around Bome during the raining season and what this means for public health and sanitation in the city. The Waterloo dump site stretches as far as the eye can see, with heaps of refuse spilling into nearby communities. For local residents, passing through Bome is unavoidable, but for many, the dump is also a workplace and a desperate means of survival.
During the rainy season, we survive by collecting plastics, iron and all items, and continue even into the dry season. We also earn money by offloading dirty trucks. When it rains, we don't burn the dirt, only tires, until the dry season. Once the place gets full, they push the waste into the sea or behind the wharf. Before the dry season, we have no health protection at all. Mama, we not get gloves, we not get face masks, nothing.
Despite the conditions, people troop to Bome every day, some to collect plastics, metals and other scraps they can sell in Waterloo town.
This is where I live in Freetown, and to avoid stealing, I come here every day. When it rains, we have no choice but to work in the rain with torn raincoats. I collect garden eggs, corn, cassava, and other vegetables to sell in the marketplace so I can survive.
Others say they search through the waste for clothes, food and basic necessities to survive.
I have been living here for over 9 years, and this is where I provide for my family. We have been surviving solely from this place. I collect clothes, plastic, bananas, shoes and food here for my children. Plastic, cassava, banana, 90.
But while some rely on the dump, the health risks are clear. Flood waters mix with waste and spreads into homes, raising fears of cholera, diarrhea and skin infections. Even the waste workers employed to clear the garbage say they are frustrated, claiming they have not been paid for months.
Business is tough in the rains unless a truck floats dirt for us to pick and sell. I work for the council but haven't been paid since July. Still, I have to survive. I've built a small house from drums here. My truck is stuck in the swamp, but I can't move it.
With the Dirty Must Go campaign by the Freetown City Council, it raises questions as to whether Freetown will be debt-free. AYV will continue to get the side of the Freetown City Council. Residents and traders alike say the problem is not just an eyesore, but a serious health emergency that deserves urgent attention.
As the rain continues to fall, the challenges here at Bome remains a ticking time bomb for residents and the city at large. Community members say they are doing their best to cope, but without stronger waste management systems, their efforts may not be enough, or it is now forced mounting pressure to act not only to protect the environment, but also to safeguard the health of thousands who live and walk around the site. Mariama Tomi, AYV News, Freetown.
That was Mama Tammy reporting from Waterloo. Many thanks, Mama Tammy. So return to our studios as one of the oldest active political parties in West Africa, the Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, celebrates its 75th anniversary, founded on the 27th, 1951. It's marking a milestone that coincided with the country's own milestone of 65 years of independence from Britain.
Formed through the merger of several groups, including the Sierra Leone Organization Society, the SLPP was led by Sir Milton Magai, who guided the country to independence in 1961. Following his death in office in 1964, his brother Albert Magai was made Prime Minister. Rather controversially, the party would later be defeated 3 years later.
After decades out of power, most of it under a one-party system, the SLPP returned to power in 1996 amidst of which was about war. Its led Ahmed Tijan Kaba became president, ended the war and steered the country's post-war recovery. But the party lost to the APC party in 2007 after 11 years, but returned 11 years later in 2018 when Julius Maada Bio won in 2018. At 75, the event has been themed 75 years of leadership, legacy and service. As we discuss reflection, resilient, we are raising questions about legacy, performance, and relevance in today's governance.
In the studio this morning to discuss SLPP at 75, we have Suleiman Banjo Tijansi, former National Secretary General of the party. And we're also expecting Umaru Palan Tarawali, who is the current National Secretary General. Good morning, Mr. Tijansi, and welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone.
Good morning, AYV, and good morning.
Are you excited? It's 75 is not a small age.
No, it's not. It's a diamond jubilee.
Okay, so I assume you've always been part of this party,
yes.
SLPP, all your life.
Oh yeah.
So what do you make of what SLPP is today, where SLPP is today, from where it started?
Well, as the theme rightly says, we're celebrating 75 years of leadership, legacy, and service. And I think we've provided leadership, we have legacies in Sierra Leone, and we continue to serve Sierra Leone. It all started on that fateful Friday in 1951 in Bo, when, as you said in your intro, the Protectorate Educational Progressive Union, the Sierra Leone Organization Society, and the People's Party of Freetown signed a compact that led to the establishment of the first mass political institution in Sierra Leone, the SLPP. As you rightly said in your intro as well, the first purpose of this party was to unite the colony and the protectorate as one country and one people, and to attain independence and self-rule for Sierra Leoneans. Both of these we did from 1957 to 1961. We were able to unite Sierra Leone, bringing the protectorate and the colony together, and we were able to attain independence for Sierra Leone in 1961. Those formative years were good years. Sierra Leone continued to uphold the rule of law. We continued to build a strong economy, and we continued to provide social services for the people of Sierra Leone until 1967, when we made a mistake. I mean, the leadership, I would say, made a serious mistake in failing to grant symbols to two popular candidates, L.A.M. Brewer and K.I. Kaisamba, who went independent. And when the results of 67 came out as 32-32 to the APC and the SLPP, we were not able to get these two people to turn over to us because we could not meet their demands. Their demand was that the then Prime Minister Albert Magai resigns.
Why would you say it's a mistake, sorry?
Pardon?
You mentioned it was a mistake.
Yes.
Elaborate more on the mistakes.
Yes,
What makes you think it was
a political mistake, and or let me say political gamble that failed by failing to give symbols to two people who turned out, who ran as independent candidates and then turned out to cross carpet to the APC, and thus we went into opposition. And we were in a long opposition since then because we never came back until after the war in 1996. because in 1971, the then Sheikh Stevens, Prime Minister, declared Sierra Leone a republic and became the first executive president. And then in 1978, he declared Sierra Leone a one-party state, which effectively banned the participation of other political parties in the polity. So we were in abeyance all through that period until in the late 80s and early 90s, we started the struggle for multi-party democracy resurrected, and I happen to have been in the forefront of those early struggles for multi-partyism in Sierra Leone. And finally, in 1991, they passed the 1991 multi-party constitution, which we still practice. Well, however, as we were preparing to go into elections, then there was a coup d'etat by the NPRC, and again we went into a military dictatorship for 4 years, after which we had the 1996 elections, where we emerged as victorious, with Tijan Kaba, the late president Ahmed Tijan Kaba, as our president and leader. He had a big task, you know, on his hands when he came into office. There was an internecine rebel war ongoing in Sierra Leone. Our socio-economic structures were in decadence. The rule of law was dwindling at a very, very alarming rate. We were becoming a jungle state where jungle justice and military might governs the day. However, he promised in his manifesto to end the war, and true to his words, we were able to end the war in 2002. And the following elections, Sierra Leoneans really, really appreciated our endeavors in that area and gave us a resounding victory, the highest ever in the history, in this political history of Sierra Leone, with the Sierra Leone People's Party under Tijan Kaba scoring over 70% of the votes, and the APC could not even attain 30%. And then in 2007, Sierra Leoneans decided that they wanted to change. So again, the then Vice President, who became our leader, Solomon Barrow, was beaten. But but the APC could only do it after the Electoral Commission cancelled about 477 polling stations in some of our strongholds in the southeast. So we provided Sierra Leone with a formidable opposition from 2007 to 2018. We provided Sierra Leoneans at each and every time with an alternative. We did not only criticize the APC, but we told Sierra Leoneans what we were coming to do and how we were going to correct those mistakes. And true to our word and the belief of the Sierra Leoneans, we prevailed again in 2018, and we've since been in power. The challenges today are different from those that we had in the 60s when this party was formed. As I said, in those early days, it was unity, independence, and now we can start to build a new country, a new Sierra Leone. Today, we're still grappling with the same unity. Today, we are more polarized, and I think the next electoral cycle, the next president of Sierra Leone should make two things his priority: to unite this country and to build a resilient economy for Sierra Leoneans, because things are not easy today. So as I said, the challenges from those days to today is different, but we're still there to provide that leadership, to continue to serve, and to try to leave another legacy. We've led the legacy of peace, we've led the legacy of independence.
Mr. Tijansi, talking about the next president and what he should do regarding unity, don't you think this current president has done something to help unify Sierra Leone in his own light? Has he done something?
He has, because we now have the Peace Commission, and you know they just had the tripartite and the unity agreements. You know, those are all efforts, you know, trying to bridge the gap. But as I said,
so why not talk to him directly? Why the next president?
It cannot. Well, because we are towards the end, and there are so many things that has to be done right now. He has a lot in his hands at the moment. You know, he has to make sure that we leave this good legacy of free education in Sierra Leone. It's still working on. It's still work in progress, because we still have the Feed Sierra Leone project. We still have a lot of other socio-economic issues to address. But as I said, what he has done is set those institutions in place. What we need now, as another phase, is a leader who would now excite Sierra Leoneans to realize that it's only by coming together that we can make this country prosperous.
If you should give a fair assessment on the current SLPP strides towards unity and national cohesion in this country, what would be your fair assessment?
I think they laid the foundation, they laid the structures for that. And but I think the rhetoric from both sides at times do not augur well for unity, especially the leadership of both parties. At times, you know, emotions get the better part of our intellect, and we say things that at times can be translated or perceived by the people, you understand, as divisive. So what I would say, I would implore that, I mean, leadership on both sides, make sure that, you know, we think well before we speak, especially when we're in public, and we'll make sure that we talk about things that will lead to the progress and development of Sierra Leone, things that will bring us together as a people, rather than things that will divide us. I mean, there is a time for politics, and there's a time for development, work, and progress. And I think this is the time. Next year, by the end of next year, we'll enter the another election season, and then that's the time for campaigning. We can argue, but even at that, let us campaign on issues and not campaign, you understand, on things that are divisive. Things that's hate speech, for example. I think both in social media and in the campaign trail, I think we should desist from things like that. Okay. If we want to unite our country in the future. Things have been done, but it takes each and every one of us to come together and realize that we are one people in one country.
Yeah, so Mr. Tijan, you earlier mentioned about, I believe this is something you've even been talking about, that there should be the interest of the people, as in the country, before politics. Yeah. So let me reference something that you mentioned in February 24th, 2026. Mm-hmm. So you said the reports indicated, this was from you, the reports indicated that TGNC expressed concern over concentration of power in the executive arm of government and called for stronger democratic institution. And also, you also mentioned about constitutional reform should wait until 2028. Yes. So can you please take us through and elaborate your reasons for, you know, saying all this, and why you think probably the government is failing to ensure that these are things that the interest of the country is put first before political pleasures? Yes, as I said, as a result of the polarization, mm-hmm. and this drift towards self-interest rather than national interest, mm-hmm. Has greatly accounted for that. But with regards to what I said about institutions, mm-hmm. I was talking about the Constitution, mm-hmm. because we were discussing the amended constitutional bill that was before Parliament, and I was saying that, you know, we were concentrating too much on electoral reforms, and that there were lots to be done with the present constitution, especially in terms of strengthening our democracy. And in that regard, I was trying to say that we must strengthen our democratic institutions, because at the moment, the executive has excessive powers, mm-hmm. and at the same time, those powers have been used or abused, mm-hmm. to weaken the other democratic institutions in the country. So that was the context. So of course, something might have triggered you to say that, because some people will look at, okay, this man has served all his life in this party. Saying such thing may either cause a problem, or probably look like the party will look like, oh, this man is trying to, how should I say, what's the disloyal? What's the right word to use for that? No, I think. But there might be something. That's why I said I look at the Constitution from a national lens and not from a partisan lens. And this problem is not unique to one political party. Mm-hmm. The weakening of our institutions. That's the 1991 Constitution. In the days of Tijan Kaba,
who first practiced who first became president under this new constitution, he tried to build these institutions and strengthen them. But from 2007 to date, that's what I was trying to say. We've allowed this constitution, these institutions, to be weakened.
So in other
through
words,
the abuse of excessive power by the executive. I was not relating my arguments to one particular regime, or to or using any partisan lens. I was talking nationally, that this is a national malaise that we must address, because if we do not address it, we'll be endangering our young democracy.
Under Julius Maada bill, has the party delivered enough to justify continued public trust?
It's a work in progress. They've achieved in certain areas. They are working in trying to achieve in other areas. Like the free education now has become part of our nation. The food feed salon or food security program is ongoing, and we have seen it being reflected in our imports and in our markets. So I think it's a work in progress. There are certain areas, the areas of freedoms, you people can now say whatever you want or write whatever you want without being charged to court for criminal libel. We've taken away the death penalty.
But we have cyber.
These are areas.
We have the cyber.
Yes, that one is a new one, which we have to. There have been so many concerns raised about the way we are implementing it, and I have similar concerns. I think we would have to look at it, and the courts now would have to make certain pronouncements about how this particular certain sections of the Cybersecurity Act has been implemented by the police and the law officers, because for me, certain things that have been charged do not really fall under that. But we have not really
Can you give us an example?
We have not really prosecuted people under that cyber law to the extent that it is appealed before either the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court, so that we can have definitive pronouncement by these courts about the elements of those offenses.
So at 75, what legacy is the SLPP as a party celebrating?
We're celebrating from the beginning, uniting Sierra Leone and the Protectorate, uniting the people of Sierra Leone to gain independence. Independence itself, that's a legacy. That's a legacy that Milton Magai and the then leadership of the SLPP gave Sierra Leone and our party. Then under Tijan Kaba, peace. The building and strengthening of our democratic institutions, recovery and rehabilitation from war, and the foundations for a new economy, a post-war economy in Sierra Leone. That's a legacy that was left by Tijan Kaba. Today, the legacy is ongoing, but for now, I can talk about free education. I can talk about food.
So if the SLPP loses power tomorrow, Mr. Tijansi, what would history say, sincerely?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What would history say about its last 8 years?
Its last 8 years, history would say it brought free education for young people. He increased the enrollment of people who otherwise would not have gone to school. In other words, it's empowering a new generation of Sierra Leoneans. History will remind us that for years, since the 60s, people have been complaining about criminal libel in Sierra Leone, that he was the president, or this was the party that took that away from our law books. History will also remind him that despite several struggle and protest for the abolition of the death penalty, he succeeded in abolishing the death penalty. History will remember him as one of the first presidents, you understand, to take the daring step and try to implement a food security program for Sierra Leone that is ongoing. History would also remember him, you understand, as a man who tried to unite the country. Despite that, you would not say he has been completely succeeded in doing that, but he made stringent efforts as well to unite the country.
Many people do think that the current SLPP government in power does not reflect the actual ethics of the SLPP when it started. According to many people out there, they feel like this is power and not the SLPP that Sierra Leoneans used to know when it comes to their approach in, what should I say, You know, SLPP used to be seen like the elite party, those who would go according to the law, to the letter, everything. But many people are perceiving the SLPP to be something else. Well, at least they are shifted.
Sorry, let me ask this question, although I'm not supposed to ask questions,
Yes.
I'm supposed to answer questions. But do you see me as that SLPP?
Well, what do you think?
You are not watching me now.
I'm the one asking the questions.
She's in charge. We're in charge, yeah.
All right.
So what do you think about what people are saying?
You see, we have different generations coming in, you know. We have a new generation, you know. I mean, generations change. We do not behave like our children today or our grandchildren today. Generations change, generations have different challenges, the new generations have different priorities. But yes, I would agree with you partly that some of the rhetoric and the posture, you understand, is not SLPP-ish, because we are known as an elite party, we are known as a gentleman's party, we are known as a peaceful party. And when our leaders try to be militants, obviously people will raise questions that we are moving away from the core values of our party. But mind you, the core values of our party is what we have today as the motto of Sierra Leone: unity, freedom, and justice. And I think this new leadership, I would implore them that, you know, they take heed of public perception, because in politics, we're there to serve you. You know, what you perceived of us is what takes us to the box, is what makes us win or lose. So if this perception is going around that the posture and the rhetoric that is coming from us these days, you know, does not represent how people had perceived former leaders of our party, then they must try to make sure that they heed to that concern and change their style. But as I said earlier on, that's why we are here, the older generation, to remind the new ones, you understand, and these are the values of the party. As you rightly said, our parties have strict values and ethics. We are a center-right party. We can shift based on the political leadership to the center-left, like Albert Magai and and President Biu are doing now, or we can remain in center-right like Milton Magai and Tijan Kaba did during their own eras. But we must, as I rightly say, you know, adhere to that perception of adherence to the values, the core values that Sierra Leoneans used to admire. So I would implore them that they take heed of this concern that you have raised here, because you're not only talking, but you're talking for Sierra Leone.
Yeah, so Mr. TGNC, of course, clearly, like you mentioned, the revolution by Mr. excuse me, Tijan Kabas for the SLPP was to ensure that there is unity and a democratic institution.
Yeah.
And of course, we have, you know, unity, freedom, and justice as our motto. But clearly, it looks like lately in Sierra Leone, there's no such thing as freedom of speech. There's a freedom of speech, but there's no freedom after speech. We've been seeing a lot of...
that sounds good, Sonia.
We've been seeing a lot of, you know, arrests being made, and actually questions, do we actually have freedom of speech in this country? And mind you, appraiser, or should I say, this conversation that citizens are bringing up, like you said, these are ways that that even political parties will be able to survey, to know really if are we actually going according to what are the ethics of this particular party, or are there gaps that we should fill? But it's clearly not that. Yet it has just been creating chaos, because if somebody says their mind or think, okay, this is what the party or this other opposition party is doing, and then yet they get arrested. So is there really any freedom of speech in this country?
Well, the Constitution...
No freedom after speech.
The Constitution does give us guarantee our freedom of speech.
It does,
that's why as a matter of fact, we're all sitting here and talking generally, you understand, about affairs of this country. Yes, I would say the way we've been implementing our prosecutorial discretion is a bit concerning, because I know that why you ask this question is because of the conviction of a celebrity, what's the name again?
Are you talking about Zainab Sharif?
Zainab Sharif,
yeah.
And compare it to utterances that have been made by other people, especially people from our party. Well, this is it, because this gives the perception, even though the facts might be different, you know, even though maybe the gravity might be different, but you see, when it comes to political statements, that's why I always want people, emotions get the better part of intellect. politics, human rights, fighting for the rights of people, you know, become are passions that can overpower you and lead you to become very emotional and say things that otherwise you would not have said. So that's why I want the young generation, you know, to temper their rhetoric, to make sure that what they say and what they do, you understand, would not lead this nation back to where it's coming from, the brink of war. Hate speech, you know, in any context, you know, should be avoided. And I would also implore the prosecuting arm of governments, police, the law officers, that at times they need to use their prosecutorial discretion in a way that would reflect fairness and justice, you understand, in the eyes of the people. Because I've had this over and over. Everywhere I go, people are raising concern about this. How is it that so and so said something, so and so, it was never prosecuted, and then now this was not only prosecuted, but she was not even granted bail, and then she was convicted for such a long period of time. That does not even reflect the gravity of the offense. But those are issues that the lawyers for Zainab Sharif, I'm sure, would appeal against, because if I was a lawyer, I would definitely appeal, because especially against that kind of sentence as a first offender, I would surely appeal against that. But then, I mean, but generally, I would say in exercising our prosecutorial discretion, we must do it in a way that the people will perceive as fair and just.
So clearly, the justice system, how shall I say, people tend to lean back because they don't believe that fair justice has been given to the needed. They believe that the system is not independent as it says to be. So what would be your own take on that? Especially even look at for example, even for the election, they didn't believe that the justice system will actually serve them right. Talk less of the ordinary man that are having other cases that has to deal with. We've heard a lot of complaints of unjustified conclusion and all that. So what will be your own take from you, probably your own assessment? Like you said, you are a part of the older generation, and it's a good thing we've been seeing you making mentions of whenever you probably see that the recent party, or shall I say recent government on both sides going the wrong direction, you ensure to say out something that to bring them back to where they're supposed to focus, which is supposed to be the interest of the people of Sierra Leone. What will be on your own assessment?
Well, the judiciary is all we have. You know, it's all we have at the moment, and we have to make use of it. Otherwise, we'll be living in the jungle state. There must be law and order, and it's what we have. It could be better, you understand, but it's all we have at the moment, and it's for us to work on that. You know, we are the people. We vote for these people who can make things better. You understand? We vote for the politicians who run this country, who should take it upon themselves to make sure that this particular institution is independent and it performs its role without, because the word I hate is orders from above. I just can't stand hearing that word because it is so retrogressive, you know. It just shows that, I mean, when you hear things like that, you tend to believe that, you understand, Sierra Leone has not moved, you know, from the war years, you know, because if we had moved from the war years, then we would make sure that certain institutions that are supposed to perform their jobs independently do that independently. It is good for the law and order in the country. It is good in strengthening our democracy. It is good even in safeguarding our rights. You know, so, but I would advise, you know, that we make use of it, because it was sad and unfortunate that the APC after the last elections did not go to court to test him. Because even if you are overruled, you understand the people. You see, when you go to court in issues like that, you're going to two courts, the court of justice and the court of public opinion. So the public can see through that and know that, yes, you understand, from the evidence we saw, you understand, these people might have won, you understand? And so because of that, they took undue advantage of them. We will repay them the next election. Things like that happen. So it's not just the matter of going to court just to win or to lose, but to send a message to the public and to the wider international community that this matter, you understand, you did not lose this election, I call it. And it's so easy to prove. Elections these days, it's so easy to prove whether or not you won or you did not win. If political parties are diligent enough to make sure that they man each and every polling station, they make sure that their polling officers are alert and they get their RRF forms, you understand? Which are the forms after the results are counted. These forms are signed by all the officials, including the party agents. And these forms are given to each and every political party. So if you gather these forms and you collate them, you know exactly, even before it's announced by ECSL, whether or not your party has won. So if you, for any reason, you find out that the result that comes out does not reflect your result, you understand, taking cognizance of cause of stations that might have been cancelled and things like that, then obviously you go to court with your evidence. That's the most important evidence. I mean, that would help the court in determining whether or not the elections were free and fair, or whether or not the results reflect the will of the people.
Mr. Tijonsi, I assume that we're going to have celebrations.
Yes, there are going to be celebrations. They're going to honor our founding fathers and those who have contributed to the party at the party office. And then I'm sure they said there's going to be a dinner and dance at the Bintumani Conference Center. And I think there are other celebrations planned. But I wish my President General was here so that he could have briefed you further.
We hope he comes. What is it going to look like? Is it going to be open to every Sierra Leonean? These celebrations, is it going to be open to every Sierra Leonean, whether you're SLPP or not?
Yeah, of course, yes.
You can come in.
Invitations have been sent to everybody. SLPP, non-SLPP, business houses.
Is SLPP inviting the All People's Congress?
Yes, they are inviting all political parties. We always do that, even for our conventions. We always invite all political parties. The APC always invites us. We always invite them. You see, there's that cordiality among us. You know, it's just that, you know, people have this perception that it's war. As I said yesterday in another television station, we are so interlinked. Us from the Northwest in the Sierra Leone People's Party, there is hardly one of any of our families that do not have APC and SLPP. My family, for example, I have founding fathers in my party, of both parties. My mother and my father were founding members of the SLPP. My granduncle and my uncle were founding chairman and deputy chairman of the APC. So,
well, so many people are saying Sierra Leone People's Party now, the one we're seeing now, is more about political survival rather than national development and transformation. So basically they're saying the party and of course the government by extension is paying so much attention to issues that can keep them in power rather than issues that should better the lives of the citizens in Sierra Leone. What's your take on that?
I beg to differ. I don't think...
Considering the fact that,
I think that free education...
the things they fight about with the All People's Congress will always have to be with electoral laws, who should be the chief electoral commissioner. If APC says you have to wait for us to go through the recommendations, SLPP say no, we are going by the law. So it's always this or that. But you don't really get to see them fight about ensuring that the prices of goods and services go down.
That I agree.
The exchange rate is normalized, and better living conditions for teachers and ordinary Sierra Leoneans and the like.
That I agree with. That I agree with, because when we were in opposition, we used to have weekly or monthly press briefings when we would brief Sierra Leoneans about the issues, the policies that the government was pursuing that were taking us to the wrong direction, and we would give alternative. That was what I was expecting from the present opposition. But as you rightly say, they only come out with statements when it has to do with their own survival or their chances.
No, I'm also saying even the SLPP.
No, the SLPP
are paying so much attention to
the SLPP at times
political survival.
Reacts to those criticisms because usually the criticism coming from the other side usually have to do with, as you rightly said, electoral justice. Everything about elections is what they are concerned about rather than other issues. You know, if you take the government on the issues of the day, then you'll have a serious debate, and then you put forward, you profile your own alternative solutions, what you would do. Then you have an informed debate in front of the people, where the people can learn where government is going and where you plan to take government. But we're not having that. The opposition is not keeping the government on its toes. The opposition is only concerned, as you have said, on issues that have to do with their survival and their chances at the next polls. That's what we see.
What
but
about
government
the SLPP?
itself,
what about the government?
You cannot say that the present government is only concerned about self, you know, because they are doing a lot of the policies that are being implemented now are to do with the country.
So
the health centers that are being built, that are being equipped, these are all for Sierra Leoneans.
So if you should look back, say from 2018, since the SLPP came back to power, do you think the lives of the ordinary Sierra Leonean is better off, or is even worse than?
It is not perfect.
But is it better?
Mixed. I would say it's mixed. You understand? There are areas that you can say, yes, Sierra Leoneans, you know, have easy access to healthcare now than they used to have. Sierra Leoneans have easy access to education that they used to have. You understand? In those areas, you would say yes. In the area of living conditions, you understand? Yes, there are challenges, serious challenges. But these challenges are not unique to Sierra Leone. They are global. But you know, government, I would say, would have to do more to help, you know, improve the conditions of Sierra Leoneans. Things are not easy. Nobody will tell you that things are easy in this country right now. So when it comes to the economy, there are huge challenges. But when it comes to social services, I think there has been tremendous improvement.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Tijansi, we would say that back in 2018, this is Sierra Leone, it's a small country, we know each other. And people who were not in governance by then, I mean, people see how they used to live. So you can, and then you see the normal, ordinary Sierra Leonean. We all know how we used to live. Yeah. And then you can say that the only people that are enjoying, well, many Sierra Leoneans will say, the only people whose lives are changing and improving are the ones that has direct connection to the government in power, or the ones that are in government, as a matter of fact. Because when you look at teachers, for example, they used to earn about $140 in the past government, and we all are aware that living conditions in Sierra Leone, of course, the dollar has a lot to do with it. Because the dollar rate determines how much you buy goods and services in the market. Yeah. So if I was earning $140 in 2018, and now I'm earning barely $80-something, that same person, don't you think the living condition for that person has worsened instead of get better? Whereas you see other people who were using kekes now driving these Lexus of 2025 model, all sorts of cars, living lavish lives, while other people are languishing.
I know. And this is not new in Sierra Leone. It's not unique. This has been going on for ages. That is why at the beginning, I mean, the last time I was here, I did tell you people that this presidential system of government is failing us. It all arises from this excessive power of the executive. They can afford to do all these things they are doing that you're complaining about and get away with it because the system is not accountable. Cabinet ministers are accountable to the president. In the parliamentary system of government, they are accountable to us directly, I mean, through our members of parliament, for everything they do. Even if the president goes out today, tomorrow he has to go to parliament to tell us why he went, what was the result of his visit, what benefits are they going to do, how much did this cost us, you know. All those are issues that, you know, in the parliamentary system, you understand, we would do. But with this present system, it doesn't suit our people. I don't think it does. It doesn't suit our challenges. It doesn't address our challenges. Too much power in one hand, and those powers are unchecked. And those powers are not accounted for. The use of those powers are not accounted for to the people on a daily or weekly basis.
Can we talk about...
Okay. But does the party actually have a mechanism for cleansing itself?
For?
Cleansing itself. Probably people that are misusing or...
Of course. Nobody is indispensable in the SLPP. Even our elected officers. If anyone step out of line will go to NEC, you can be suspended. I was suspended when I was Secretary General.
What did you do?
When I was Secretary General.
What did you do that led to your
I was not going for meetings. I was not going for meetings because I was fed up with the fighting that was going on at the time. So I decided to go to my chambers. And because I was absent and because of politics and all that, political intrigues, I was suspended. So that tells you, you understand that. So
what about for major issues?
Like?
Major issues, misuse of power, corruption acts and all.
Yes, I mean,
how do you go about it? Do you suspend or expel?
Expel, yeah, we do. We can expel. We can suspend, we can expel. The NEC can suspend and expel. And when he does that, when we go to conference ratifies it. There are two supervisory bodies over the executive. We have the National Executive Council, and then we have the party conference.
But how often does this cleansing within party happen, especially in the SLPP?
Very, very often during our days. We're having people suspended, who says things that are outside party line. When you say something that is that does not reflect the values and ethics of the party, you can be brought to book.
But is that happening within this current government?
Well, we're in governance now, I have not had it. It has not happened as much as it was during our opposition days. But that does not mean that it cannot happen.
So kindly tell us what was exactly the duty of you being the Secretary General?
What was
your duty and responsibility being the Secretary General for
I am responsible. I'm the head of the Secretariat. You're responsible for the day-to-day administration of the party, and under the supervision of the leader, now the leader and the chairman. In my days, the chairman and the leader were one position, so you're under the supervision of the chairman and leader. And then you do the day-to-day, you are the face of the party. You write all correspondences on behalf of the party. You issue press releases on behalf of the party. Yeah. You take down minutes of meetings of the national officers, the National Executive Council, and the party conference. You present reports at every NEC level. You present reports of the status of the Secretariat, both at NEC level and at the National Party Conference level, and. You're like the administrative, like the permanent secretary.
Okay, so the reason why I actually asked is to know if the current Secretary General is actually adhering to his duty and responsibility truly and fairly.
He has just assumed this when we were there elected. I mean, was it last year or year before that? They are settling down, Don't forget, this is a new generation. Our time, we were being around, we were just going out and coming in, going out and coming in. So you cannot compare the experience we had. I had joined SLPP at the age of 17, and the year I joined at the age of 17, I was in the field already campaigning for MT George. I was even one of his pulling agents. So we had been there long, I've been Secretary Generals in the 90s, then again in the 2020 from 2011 to 2016. So we came in with experience. But now we have people, they have experience, but their experience is not at the national level, because the chairman was chair of the UKNI and is back here. But I mean, our party is an institution. We would guide them, and then they will get there. They will learn by their experience. It's going to be, it's a learning process. Our party believes in handing over to the next generation, or training the next generation. So we're training the next generation of leaders.
How united is the party considering the advent of the power element?
We are always united.
We've seen public fights. We've seen
public.
We've seen songs being sung. We've seen a lot. So how united is the party as we speak, considering the power element?
The party is united. During elections, usually, you must have these factional, how you call it, exchanges and things like that. But because people are campaigning, even nationally, in politics, elections are divisive. But at the end of the day, we all rally around whoever emerges as our leader and flag bearer, like we all are now united. You remember when we went to the just concluded elections, there were people, there were factions for the chairmanship. But now we're all behind the new chair. So we always come together when it is necessary. There are this icon, but we are united. And yesterday when I was on Slick television, they showed us a caption with the chairman, the vice chairman, the secretary, and the first lady in one photograph. Another mark of unity within the party. Everybody coming together, because people were saying that these were fighting this was not for this. So, I mean, those things happen in politics. But at the end of the day, we have mechanisms to make sure that you understand these issues are looked into and are resolved.
What's the relationship like between the older generation, where you belong, and the new generation, the new crop of
mutual respect. They're learning from us. They ask us for guidance. They call me. They ask for advice. So the respect is mutual.
Okay, so I want us to talk about something before you leave, Mr. Pageantry. I'm sure we're all in Sierra Leone, and we've seen both international and local reports of the cases of drugs, its use, peddling, and all that in Sierra Leone, on our shores as well. It appears that it is during this time, I know it's not new for Sierra Leone to be linked or to be considered as a transshipment point for drugs and the like, but we've never seen it at this rate. We've never seen reports as we've seen in recent times. And of course, we've seen boats coming to our shores without knowing where they're coming from. We've seen these boats being manned by our very security officers. What's your take overall on all this drug talk, these international reports? We've seen other countries sending extradition documents to Sierra Leone for a particular drug lord that we don't really know what's going on around. What's your take generally around all these talks about drugs?
It is sad and a bad image to our country, you know. But it's a challenge that West Africa has now, not only Sierra Leone, but because we are an easy route from South America. It's an easy route to Europe, and our waters are porous. We don't have the resources to really effectively man our waters. So a lot of boats, trawlers that ply the Sierra Leonean waters, you know, are drug carriers. This is an issue, and that is an issue that we cannot even solve alone because we do not have the resources. We would need international support to make sure that we properly man our entry and exit water points and make sure that we surveillance them properly. Otherwise, the West African region will always continue to be the transshipment hub, you know, for drugs to Europe from South America. It's a big challenge, and it is and I wish the police would have continued their war on drugs that they started, because now that they've eased up, I'm hearing all sorts of things that Tramadol is now in classes in our schools. It's now a social drug among teenagers. All sorts of drugs are within our nation, and it is really, really sad. And it doesn't tell a good story about our future, because these young people are the future of Sierra Leone. If we do not train them for leadership tomorrow, what kind of Sierra Leone are we going to have? So I think government, opposition, civil society, we should all come together and address this issue. It's a serious, serious issue, and the law enforcement agencies must be alert to this, because otherwise we will not have a future. I'm happy you raised this issue, because it's really, really one of the #1 issues in our country today. If we want to have a brighter future or a bright future tomorrow, then we need to work on the drug problem and the drug issue in our country today.
So how do you think we can go about it? Because the problem here is, Mr. Tijansi, you have those of us who work hard, we hustle, legit hustle, go to court, come to AYV, you know, just do things to make ends meet. And you have people who sit in their houses and you see them living lavish lifestyle. You look at yourself and you think, what is it? Is it that I'm lazy? You know, some people don't focus on being hardworking anymore. No. All they want to do now is look for the route.
Easiest means.
Yes, the easy route to get to where these connections are, so that you can make something something big.
It's a youth
and it's
problem.
A problem for Sierra Leone.
It's a youth problem.
So what do you think the government can do? Because it's one thing to say, oh, we are working on it, we are fighting, we are making this a priority. It's another thing to actually do the do.
Yeah, I think it's a youth problem. It's a major problem. We have to provide recreational activities that
Who do you think should be blamed in all of this?
That will take these young people from drugs.
Who do you think should be blamed?
Things we should start all over. When we were kids, yes, we never had time for that, because there were so many things young people could engage in. We had the inter-secondary school sports, we had the inter-house sports, we had the inter-quiz competitions.
And we even had our local games.
We had our local games, you know. We had to go to lessons after lessons. We had to go for drama classes. So we have a lot to do. These days, I don't see a lot of recreational activities for kids. Look, independence is coming. I remember when we were kids, we would march from our schools to National Stadium, where we would be treated. You know, everybody would be given cupcakes, soft drinks, you know, and sweet bags and things like that. You know, we need to take care of the young. We need to give them things to do that will take their minds off it. And the police must step up. They must step up to the challenges, the drug challenge.
If you had the ear of the president for 5 minutes, what would you tell him regarding that?
I would tell him to double the war on drugs.
Okay, so Mr. Tijansi, as we close now, as we close this segment, what will be your final words to Sierra Leone and the Sierra Leone People's Party, the All People's Congress? When are the two mates them?
I would say first of all, I would want to congratulate all SLPPers, you know, as we celebrate 75 years of leadership and legacy and service to this nation. I would call on all political parties, especially the All People's Congress, that we should all come together for the sake of Sierra Leone. Let us bury our differences. Let us go back to work and try to build Sierra Leone. And let us know that at the end of the day, the Almighty chooses the leader and nobody else. Because when we were in that ballot room, or when we were in front of that ballot box, only God is with us. So let us have faith in God. Let us come together for the sake of Sierra Leone, and let the APC end the boycott. And they should not forget that this celebration is also their celebration, because the founder of the apartheid, Shaka Probin Stevens, was one of the founding members of our party. So we are all one and the same.
So when is it happening, time, place, for people that may want to? Monday,
27th April 1951. Mm-hmm. It was when we were given birth to, and so on Monday, Independence Day, SLPP will be celebrating 75 years, while Sierra Leone will be celebrating 65 years of independence.
And where is it happening? The place?
Bintumani Conference Center.
So it's open for everybody to go to?
By invitation.
Oh, by invitation.
By invitation.
Yeah,
Are we invited?
Invitations have been sent.
Are we invited?
I will find out from the secretariat. And I will tell them that EYB should be invited. I'm sure you're invited because you'll have to cover the occasion.
You know, as much as I want you to go, I just want us to take a few messages.
My Facebook is
yes, from our Facebook viewers. This person is saying, Taimu Koroma is saying a bag of rice was 180 leones, now is 1,000 leones. And this person is saying, we hear the Ambassador Paul Mampikin is saying, we hear the verbal promises that there is no third-term plan, but we see constitutional modifications being rushed through Parliament. Will you commit to a legally binding clause in the new constitution that prevents any future amendment to term limits, ensuring the common man never sees a precedent for life again? And Taimu Koroma again says, Sierra Leone is far worse than 11 years back. Then Amadou Kagbo is saying, please ask Mr. Tijansi about the SLPP press release. Swissman is saying, Doctor, what the SLPP is celebrating at 75? Are they celebrating the 75 years poverty in our lives, or the high unemployment rate and inconsistent electricity, lack of pipe-borne water, inappropriate medical facility, or they are celebrating their political failure? This person is saying the SLPP is a Kush party, and in fact Finger Will is saying SLPP chairman Batilo Songa has served in the SLPP since his childhood days. The political journey of Batilo Songa within the Sierra Leone People's Party is one rooted in long-standing loyalty, dedication, and steady growth from his early days during the era of Tijan Kaba. I guess because we don't have time, you can just react to those few messages.
Well, I know, I mean, at a time like this, you know, we would ask ourselves, especially with the challenges, economic challenges, we would say we don't have anything to celebrate. But I think Sierra Leoneans should remember that we do have things to celebrate. The gains that we've made along the years. I mean, for even Sierra Leone to be a peaceful nation at this moment is an achievement. So these are challenges that we would face as a political class, not only the SLPP, but the APC and other political parties, to try to see how we can improve the lives of Sierra Leoneans. It's an ongoing process, and we must work towards it. There are certain issues that should not be partisan. The economy, corruption. Those are issues that each and every political party must come together to fight, to make sure that we improve the lives of Sierra Leoneans, to make sure that we address corruption in this country, to make sure that we fight the drug epidemic is a call to service for each and every political party in this country.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was lovely having you.
Thank you very
much. We don't have much time in our favor, so, well, yes, that was the former Secretary General, Mr. Tijan C. of the SLPP. Let's go for a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with our next segment.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a Wakeup SIM couple.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
So I gotta go see some business partners.
You didn't give me memory, Michael. Can if I kiss I young, you remember this camp people in not to Indy.
Michael, today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money. Today, you give me my money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I dey able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we be able to send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not follow the party grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean now, una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you dey able send money even if you not use app, even if you not the online directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with AfriMoney. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. AfriMoney, quick and easy.
Feels good to see your face again. It's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day.
Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina. Share happiness.
So I gotta go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I kiss I give me this people not to in day. Michael, today you pay me money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and 10 you not give me back me money. Today, you give me money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need the help because I don't know so with Afri money. I they able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we'll be able to send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not follow the body drama right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean now, una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you they able send money even if you not use app, even if you know the online directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with Afri Money. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161 *1 *6# now. Afri Money, quick and easy.
Well, welcome back. You're still watching or listening to Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV Television and Radio. Don't forget to send in your comments and ask your questions to AYV News Facebook page.
Let's relax a bit as we take you to a short clip of our crowned princess in the studio this morning. She's the winner of
Continental Queen Africa. Congratulations, Miss Teen Universe, Sierra Leone. And finally, Continental Queen, America.
Before you down now, we don't know.
They didn't make me come to know.
Continental Queen Africa. Congratulations, Miss Teen Universe, Sierra Leone. Continental Queen, America. Continental Queen, Africa. Congratulations, Miss Teen Universe, Sierra Leone.
Fifteen-year-old Miss Teen Universe Sierra Leone 2025 Lilia Martha been crowned Miss Teen Universe Africa 2025 at the grand final held in India. Her triumph brings immense pride to Sierra Leone, especially so us, a country where girls undergo many challenges in life. She spoke with confidence, radiated grace, and represented purpose and elegance. She became the nation's first ever teen to claim an international pageant crown. This morning, she will be speaking on her remarkable achievement.
We also have Carolina London, CEO of Universal Women and Universal Fashion, two leading platforms dedicated to empowering women and celebrating diversity in the fashion and beauty industry, with a passion for innovation and a commitment to fostering talent. Carolina has successfully created global initiatives that connect aspiring models, designers, and entrepreneurs with opportunities to showcase their skills on the international stage. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Anyhow, so let's start with you, Madam Carolina. So tell us more about yourself before going further.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. My first time in Sierra Leone, and I am in love with this.
How are you enjoying it here?
Amazing.
Have you tried cassava leaf since you came?
I love the people is amazing here. It's my first time, and I'm like, I don't want to leave. I'm leaving today, but I don't want to go. I want to get back.
What exactly are you enjoying that makes you don't want to leave?
Yeah, I don't want to leave, honestly, but I have to go. It's my first time here, like I said. I love the people, the food is amazing. This I say it's like a virgin country. You have to come, you have to see everything. So I've been talking with my business partner here, and the fashion and pageantry, and we've seen so much potential. We can do a lot of things here, bring the fashion, bring the pageantry, encourage all the teenagers. You guys have a beautiful girls here, so maybe, I don't know, have some like fashion, start doing more pageantry with them, because they are the future. And I think people need to know about Sierra Leone, about the people here, about the young girls, and that's what I like to do.
Do you intend on opening an academy or something, or infrastructure for them?
Maybe. Who knows? Let's see. If I partner here with the right people, yes. I'm open to that opportunities.
So Lilia, I mean, you are our crowned princess, and we're so proud of you.
Yeah.
You're so pretty, by the way.
She is. She is. Congratulations, by the way.
Just as pretty as I saw you on TV and all these other videos.
Actually.
Yes.
The videos didn't do justice.
So what does it feel like being crowned a queen at age 15?
Honestly, it feels amazing. It is a privilege to be able to achieve all this at a very young age. And sometimes, honestly, it can be overwhelming, but I am still very happy and honored that I was able to bring the crown to Sierra Leone, as I promised.
So are you prepared for the pressure that comes with it?
Pardon?
Are you prepared for the pressure that comes with the new status?
Yes, of course, you have to be, because pageantry is all about pressure. You have to be able to work under pressure, and you have to be able to withstand, and you have to have patience. So when going into pageantry, you always have to prepare your mind, and let yourself know what you're going to do, and just brief yourself on what you're going to face, you know.
So I assume you're still in school.
Yes.
How do you balance it?
I try to draw a proper schedule and, you know, balance everything equally, because even today, like, I have a French exam right after this, so as soon after I'm done here, I'm gonna go to school to take my exam.
How does mommy come in all of this?
Yes, she tries her best to, you know, help me balance. And one thing I'm very happy for is that my school, they're very, what's the word?
Supportive?
They're very understanding, yes.
Are you schooling in Sierra Leone?
Yes, I go to the Lebanese school, not too far from here. They're very understanding. Even when I went to India, they were supporting me. They voted a lot, and they were even like sharing my videos, making sure that it went to the right people. Even when I came back, they organized like a thank you ceremony for me at school, which I was really happy for, and I felt very honored, because honestly that rarely happens at my school. Rarely.
As well, I attend a Lebanese school myself here.
Oh, really?
Yes, and my kids are there also. So anyhow, so when was it, when did you actually decide that you want to be part of the Miss Teen Universal? Was the decision made by you, or was it from your family member? They said, oh, you're fit for this, I want you to go for it, or was it a self-decision?
Okay. So it was very spontaneous, and it wasn't planned at all. We were just at lunch one day with my mom, and then she brought up the Miss Teen Sierra Leone pageant to us, my sister and I. We both wanted to go, but like, at the time, I didn't really know too much about pageantry. I didn't know about all the categories and stuff like that. So my sister and I, we decided that I should go. She wanted me to go for the first one, and then she said that she would go the second year. So I went, and I was like, I've always been bold, but not this bold, because I used to have stage fright whenever I would go on stage, or if I had to give a speech or something, like, I'll be really nervous. But pageantry really helped me establish my confidence, and it made me more outspoken. So yeah, in 2023 I went for Miss Teen Sierra Leone, I won. 2024 I went to Nigeria for the Miss Teen Africa. I came first runners up, and then last year I went to India.
So you've been thriving then. You've been thriving for quite a while now.
Yes.
So of course you mentioned about the notice being quite short. Take us through about how you prepared yourself, because this is a big win for Sierra Leone as a whole, not just for yourself. We're all proud of you. Sierra Leone is proud of you.
Thank you.
So what was it like? How many months or weeks did it take you to prepare yourself for this big event that happened?
Not long at all, because it's a thing where my mom told me about it like late November, and then the pageant was December 17th.
Oh wow.
So yeah, other girls, the other contestants, they had like known about it for a long time. They have been preparing, and I barely even had a month, like just a couple weeks to prepare, figure out my talent, which was like one of the toughest parts, because I was still trying to wrap my head around what I actually wanted to do and what are one of the things that I'm good at, and I chose cultural dancing, which I really enjoy. And that was like, for my first experience, it was really tough, I'm not gonna lie, because I had to like battle with the other contestants and their parents. They called me a foreigner, saying because I have an accent, I'm not fit to be the Miss Teen Sierra Leone, and I'm not supposed to represent Kono, because I represented Kono, and you know, called me all sorts of names, but I didn't really care, because like naturally I'm the type of person to not really care about other people's opinions, because this is my life, and I still stand firm, and I won.
So was there by any time, you just mentioned about, being discriminated or, was there a particular time that you by any means question yourself?
Not really, because
well done,
I know that I'm a Sierra Leonean, and my grandfather, he's a chief, he's Kono by tribe, so I was really confident in what I was doing, and I knew that I deserved it.
So let me rope you in, Carolina. I assume you've been doing this for some time now. So how do you ensure these platforms create real opportunities, not just exposure for the pageant stars?
Well, I just was Liz and Lily, and I was with them in India, because I was leading the pageant for the teenagers, Miss Teen Universe. And I am very proud that this platform is giving these young girls, I've seen how confident she is. She's from here, and the way they talk is amazing. So it's ensure this giving all the teenagers what they need. It's a confidence, and this is what I love when I see all they become my kids as well.
Because earlier on you said you've been in Sierra Leone and you don't even want to go. You
I don't want to go.
Leave because you're
Please
having so
adopt
much
me.
fun down here.
Keep me here.
And you also said you've seen so much potential in Sierra Leone. Well, of course, this is Africa, and many parents do shy away from their kids getting into such event. For instance, I have a daughter. In fact, I have a daughter, and she's very pretty, very slim and all that. So, I tell her, well, why won't you just try this? Let's go to Wawa and get together. No, but mommy, I'm camera shy. No, but mommy, look at the girl. I can't walk like that. So how do you get these girls, first and foremost, to believe in themselves? And like Lilia said earlier, she wasn't this bold all along. How do you get them? How do you get to the point where okay, she's now okay, she's fit, now she can go?
Yes, well, you have to have a good team. You have to have people behind you that's going to support them. Obviously, if I do something here like I do in Latin America, we have people that's going to teach them how to walk. Because when you start looking good, you're confident. No, you want to be good, you want to look good. And then my team is the best when it comes about training girls to go to the pageantry internationally. So we are very well prepared for that, and that's what I want to bring into Sierra Leone.
Okay. So I assume you look for the best?
Yes, I always, yes.
So how do you go about it? How do you go about finding the best?
You talk about my team.
Yeah.
Well, I come from Latin America. We are very well known because we love pageantry. We grow up watching the programs, Miss Universe, all these pageants, right? So it's something that when I was very young, I always want to do, and I say I want to help. I want to do something in life that is like giving them the confidence to believe in themselves. Anything you want to be, you will. It's just need to put your mind and make those dreams become true. So that's what I do, and I love it. And I listen Lily now, and I'm very proud of them, because when we go international for the competition, we get 40, 50 girls, and then become my kids. I don't have daughters, I have sons. So for me, I'm living the whole experiences with them. And yes, so we do the best.
So how do you go about doing a selection process? Like you mentioned, you're here in Sierra Leone, probably looking for more potential, Miss Teen, or you name it, for other pageants as well. What are the criteria? What exactly do you look for?
For them, when we go into the international competition, we always say, listen, you're a winner already. You're here, because there is a process. You have to go to the process national, for example. In each country, they normally go to the process, and they send the international pageant, their own winner. So for me, all of them are winners.
So do you look for a specific height, body shape, color, or something that makes them fit for it?
So with the teenagers, pageant is different. And I do have another pageant, which is Universal Woman. It's a women between 21 and 45 years old. So when we create Universal Woman, we thought about it's just a normal woman. It doesn't have to be tall, it doesn't have to look perfect. She doesn't have to be too slim, she doesn't have to be perfect. It can be curvy, it can be anything. And I always said, it's anything you want, you can do anything in life. You can do even when you marry, because my pageant is for marry, not marry. We don't discriminate.
Is that the new evolution?
Everyone
now,
is welcome. Everyone, you have kids, no kids, transgenders, everyone needs a platform. and I'm trying to do my best to give that opportunity to anyone.
So in other words, all sizes are welcome because, you know, it is known that people who goes into pageantry should be slim, a certain height, body shape and all of that. So in other words, your own pageantry, the things that you host, any size is welcome? Or is there a particular...
I do encourage all my contestants, my ambassadors, to always be good here. Okay. You know, mentally you have to prepare. It's not easy. I cannot go to the stage, walk, talk. I'm not good at that. I'll just behind them. That's what I do the best. So I always say to them, when you dress up, when you go to the gym, when you do exercise, mentally you're okay, you're great, you want to do, you want more. So obviously it's good to look good, right? Because in the morning, what do you do in the morning? Straight away you do makeup, you want your high heels, you want to look good. It's a confidence, right? So that's what I'm trying to do with my pageant, helping women to get back that confidence.
So what plans do you have for Sierra Leone?
Lots of plans. I want to do a lot here.
Like?
So, yes, I don't have Universal Women Sierra Leone yet. So if anyone there wants to be part of my pageant, please.
How do they contact you? How can they reach you? Is there a website?
Yes, there is a website at universalfashionltd.com.
Okay.
So you can go there. There's an application.
Okay.
Is it free?
Is if well, listen. Sometimes I do have an exceptions with African countries because I want to help, and I know it's not the same in Africa than in Latin America.
Okay, so practically your brand. So shall I say? So if a specific girl like you have Lilia, probably being part of your brand. Do you cover and provide everything for them in terms of clothing, hair, makeup, and all that? Because those things come with expenses. Yeah. So how do people go about it? Especially if you meet someone that has all it takes to be the perfect pageant queen, but yet they can't afford it, and that's very common in Africa. So how do you, handle a situation like that?
African countries in my pageant, they have a different treatment because I want to help. I want them to give you the opportunity. So I won't cover everything for her, but for example, we have the license fee. Then maybe I don't do the license fee. But then once they get at the international competition, that we provide for everything. We provide for meals, accommodation, activities. While we are in the country, we cover everything. And yeah, there is an exceptions. That maybe the girl comes straight to me and I want to grow my brand in Africa. Africa is a very strong continent, and it's something that I want to explore with Universal Women. I think there's a lot of potential here, and I really want to base in Sierra Leone. I see a lot of potential here, and I would like Africa to come to Sierra Leone. For things that I want to do here. So to the pageant.
So because I think you've only been in Freetown. Have you been to the provinces since you came?
I've been to where we went this week.
Kono.
Has she?
Kono. Yes, she has.
Just to Kono.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
I've been here.
Yeah, you'll be amazed by a lot of potential pageantry queens that you will see when you go to those hard to reach areas. They have the perfect futures and all. Because all you see right now is of course this is the city, where everybody's polished and all that, but then you actually see. So is there any plans to try to target those hard to reach areas to try to get more pageantry queens?
Yes, of course. I definitely will plan my trip back to Sierra Leone very soon.
Okay. You said you deal with women from the ages of 21 to 45, right?
45.
So it means you deal with mothers with hanging bellies. do you deal with such? Because
I do.
What I want to know, what's the goal of your movement? Is it to build the confidence of women?
Yes.
That's what you. So what kind of activities do you engage in?
Not difference 21 to 45 years old. Women need to understand, even if you marry and you have kids and you're a full-time mom, you have the opportunity to look good, pretty, and doing I've been doing. You're allowed to do things that young girls are doing as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
So, for instance, myself and Sonia, if we want to be a part of this,
beautiful.
Yes. So, if we want to be a part of this your project or your program, what should I say? How do we go about it, and what do we stand to benefit?
Well, listen, you guys are very beautiful, let me tell you, and you have a potential. So if
Yes.
So all you need is a little bit of growth. You need to be prepared, because you're not going to go to a competition with 20 or 21, 25
So both of us will be qualified to compete. So if we're part of the project, will we be qualified to compete?
You are, yes.
Sonia, get ready.
We have to go. Okay, you are thinking to be part of Universal Woman, correct?
Yes.
Like it, I love it. Yes.
Okay, let me bring you in, Lilia. You're now in the spotlight. You're now a national symbol. And we all knew you before you came here this morning. I've seen your videos. So you're no longer just that Lilia that used to attend the Lebanese International School. You know, before now, that was how they would introduce you. Beyond the crown, you do have a platform now. What do you intend to do with your platform?
Okay, so my platform is early child marriage, and I chose that platform because it is a global issue that is affecting and destroying the lives of young girls all over the world, whether it be America, the Middle East, Asia, or even Africa. Because it would surprise you that even in America, in Utah, early child marriage is a thing. They tend to marry girls off while they're still teenagers. In Afghanistan, Iran, Cyprus even, they tend to marry children off. And they've even lowered the age boundary for marriage in Afghanistan to 9 years old. So my thought process is, what can a grandpa do with a 9-year-old child? That 9-year-old child has not even gone through puberty yet, and their minds have not even developed yet. They're still a child. And they're not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to walk out in public. They can't show any skin. They're practically in prison. Just that they're not behind bars, and they're being trapped in their own bodies. And in Sierra Leone, early child marriage is a thing as well. It's just not really spoken about as much, and they haven't really shed as much light on it, which I feel like has to change.
Okay, so Lilia, lastly, before we let you go, so I believe there might have been people that helped you through your journey. What is your last message to them, and also to teens in Sierra Leone?
My last message to my team and the people that have helped me throughout my journey is I'll always be grateful for them, because if it wasn't for them, I really wouldn't have came this far. I wouldn't have had this much experience. And my message to young girls, do not limit yourself. Make sure to go out of your comfort zone, because if I wouldn't have went out of my comfort zone, I never would have made it this far. And be confident. When you look good, you feel good.
Absolutely, I like that.
So thank you very much, ladies.
Yes, of course.
That's how we end this segment in the show today. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking to Joel Howard Taylor.
More and more people are using Rokel SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a Rokel SIM couple.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Rokel SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Rokel SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael.
Can if I kiss I young, you this car people in no to in Andy.
Michael, today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money. Today, give me my money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I they able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we'll be able to send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not forget about it.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV television and radio. Now in our final conversation, we have Madam Joel Howard Taylor. She was on a presidential ticket of George Manoware, and together they got elected. She became the country's first female vice president. Prior to her election, she had been elected senator and was first lady by virtue of being married to President Charles Taylor. She's a key advocate for women's empowerment, education, and the rule of law. A few days ago, right here in Freetown, she was made president of the African Influential Women Network in April 2026. Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be here. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. It's lovely to have you too. So you've assumed many positions up to this point in your life. You've been vice president, you've been a senator, right? And of course you've been a first lady when your husband was president of Liberia. Which one of these roles truly defined you?
I think the role of senator.
Okay.
Because you get elected for a particular constituency, and it became the platform to showcase Joel Howard Taylor beyond being a first lady. When you're a first lady, you are wife of the president, and it's it should be an apolitical position, but you know in Africa everything becomes political. But I think I got my first chance on selling myself as a female leader when I became senator. So I think the role of senator provided me with a serious platform to begin to see, to understand, to advocate, and to work for the people of Liberia.
So many people do say when a woman and a man gets married, the man is actually the head, but the wife is the neck. And your husband was president of Liberia, and we all know where he is now. What role did you play as a wife to ensure he navigates?
You know, the prevailing situation at the time was one of civil crisis, you know, between Liberia. It affected Sierra Leone, it affected Guinea, and there were a lot of things that happened. But we started a civil war as Liberians amongst ourselves that provided this platform that spilled over to our neighboring countries. So I think somehow Liberia has a key role, responsibility for spreading crisis in our region, because we couldn't handle our own situations as a country, as a people. We went beyond dialogue into actual fighting, which affected all three countries. I became first lady and realized that I wasn't a soldier. I've never handled a gun. I don't know military issues. But I found myself in a situation where the country was in crisis. People were being pulled all over the place. Displaced people from even some of the neighboring countries ended up in our displaced camps. And I had to make a decision whether to sit and just assume the role of a first lady and be quiet, or to get involved somehow to bring some relief And so I decided that I would get involved in a relief effort, and that is what I did over the 4 or 5 years as First Lady, going to the displaced camps and providing support. We all say yes, the man is the head and the woman is the neck, but I had not been in Liberia during the crisis before, because you know the whole thing started in 1989. I left in 1984 to go to the US. So I wasn't in the country when the whole process started. I came home in 95, got a job at the bank and began to make my impact. The most important thing is, at that point, not being a soldier, not being on the battlefield, not finding out what was actually happening, led me to a position of influence, because when I became involved with the humanitarian work, across our nation, it provided me with a platform to serve and to help those who were in need. And that is where I drew my strength and actually saw that the suffering of women and children in a crisis situation is nothing that anyone wants to go through. And I pray that as a country or as a region that we never go back there.
So it was rumored that in 2012 you introduced a bill proposing the death penalty for same-sex marriage. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Okay, so what really happened?
We were discussing, the issue of gay rights is not an African tradition. It's not a Christian tradition. It's not an Islamic tradition. It's not a cultural tradition. So if you talk to our people, whether the elders or the women, you'll find people, hey, this is not what we do. And it's not a part of who we are as Africans. Are there people with same-sex proclivities living in our countries? Yes. At that point, the discussion across Africa was, what would we do with these Westerners who are coming to our countries and forcing down this as a development baton? If you don't give all of these rights, then we're not going to support you. The laws in Liberia are clear, and they say, as a lawyer, it says marriage is a union between a man and a woman. And I amended that law to say, and there will be no same-sex marriages allowed. This was because the constituency that I represented wanted clarity on the issue. And it was never anything with any death penalty.
No death penalty was attached to it?
It's not possible. The thing is that I always tell people, when you get into your home and you close your door, the things that you do there are personal. Doesn't affect me. But I don't want my children walking down a street where people who are gay, whether female to female or male to male, walking around and giving the impression to a child that this is the right thing to do. So this is not something that I support, but I think people's personal issues are personal, and you keep it in your home, and then I'm fine with it. Because I think when you close your door, whatever happens there is your issue, not mine.
Absolutely.
And I represent a rural constituency. And so when they called to ask me what was my position, and they told me what their position was, as a representative, you have to go and represent the interests of the majority of your people, and that is what I try to do. However, the law was passed in the legislature, but Madam Salif never signed it. But there was no death penalty attached. I think I would be crazy to go and attach a death penalty to something that we just don't yet fully understand. How it happens, if it's by birth or is it by choice. I mean, we don't know. There's still so many things being discussed about the same-sex issue, and I would not be someone who would say they should kill somebody's child because they decide that they want to take on a sexual orientation that is their own, and we don't know what the psychic is yet to understand why this is happening across the world.
Okay, so Madam Taylor, so I was actually present at the African Women Leadership Conference that happened at Miata Conference, where you started with your history. It was even interesting to realize that you studied business administrative, worked at the central bank. So what I wanted to know is, what was the transition like, coming from the commerce side into politics? What was it like? I'm sure you must have broke a lot of glass ceilings to get there.
I didn't grow up wanting to be a politician. I didn't do political science in school. And so sometimes when I get into a tough argument, I tell the males, me, I'm not a politician, I'm a national leader. Because you know, politics has a lot of things in it, and if you don't really go and study it, you learn as you go along.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to be a banker. So I have all of my first degrees are in banking and finance. So when I came home, I was deputy governor of the central bank. And I happened to marry Charles Taylor. So I became first lady by an opportunity that became available because we were married before he became president. So it wasn't something that I had planned to say I was going to be first lady. I become first lady, and the first thing I'm told a week later, you can't work. I'm like, what do you mean I can't work? I've gone to school all of this time. I've put in all of my work to come and be at the central bank. They said, no, you are first lady, you can no longer work. That was the first rude awakening. So I had to actually resign from my job and sit home and now say, okay, what does a first lady do? So I was thrust onto that sphere, not by a conscious decision, by an occasion that happened because I married someone that I love and I became first lady. It was tough. I tell you, for the first year, I sat at home trying to figure, what do I do? How do I, I was 33 years old, how do I impact this country in crisis? I realized I could no longer be a regular first lady having tea and raising money for our side events, that I had to get involved in what was happening, and I chose to get involved in the humanitarian aspect of it and to provide support. So I would travel across the nations, get my friends to give us supplies and different things that we use to go into the displaced camps. Even though you're first lady and it's supposed to be an apolitical position, the fact is that everything you do becomes political.
Absolutely.
So I had to be quite careful in what I did and what I said and where I went. That was my first taste of politics. And of course, everything that was happening, people would say, oh, she's responsible because she's supposed to be the neck of President Taylor. It wasn't that easy. African leadership, where presidents have all of the responsibilities that are attached to those offices, especially in crisis, isn't an easy thing. And I just chose to be positive and to impact the lives of my people in a positive way instead of listening to all of the noise. But it actually helped me to get my skin a little thick, because they will abuse you, they will say a lot of things, they will hold you responsible. I actually went to a meeting on a humanitarian basis, and I met a lady, I don't remember her name, and we were happily having a conversation until someone said to her, oh, this is Jewel Taylor from Liberia. She's the wife of Charles Taylor. And her whole attitude changed. I'm not sure if she had had people who had gotten killed during the war or what the situation was. She just said, Jewel Taylor, I'm not having a conversation with you, and she walked off. So whatever impression that I had in the beginning, oh, this is a nice lady and we're just talking about issues of our countries, changed because of her, some effect that the war had on her, or maybe her family. And then I began to understand that there were more nuances underneath what we were dealing with than just the fact that I had been First Lady.
So how have you managed a situation like that? Because that's a major challenge, I will say, given that something, you know, with your husband, and of course you're the wife, whatever they say, the two shall become one. Whatever happens, you know, being from the head, as you mentioned, it definitely affects the neck for sure. So how were you able to manage those challenges for people to understand that, okay, this is something that happened, it didn't reflect my doing, I was even more focused on the charity basis and trying to see how I can relieve the stress of people. But yet, it still affects you, because when your name is heard, that's the first thing that comes to mind with people. So how to navigate through to ensure that people have a different perception about you and to try to focus on you, your own identity, and not that of your husband's?
That's why I made the conscious decision to become a little bit more active. First ladies usually, if you look at other first ladies across Africa, they are really quiet. They have their small NGOs they run. They're not in the media like some of us have become. I was now forced to go into the media. And I had time to sit on the radio and talk about some of the issues and explain what actually happened, and talked about the fact that I was there to make a difference. And then I began to use the media also. When I began to do the humanitarian work, I would carry them along, you know, to see where we were going. If it was a hospital, I would go and divide baby things with people who had babies that couldn't get out of the hospital. And so I just decided to do a little bit more and bring the media along.
Well, so how was your husband taking it?
Well, he was happy because
like
it was
a betrayal,
positive. He felt that it was positive because all of the news coming out of Liberia was a war, blood diamonds. At least this was a positive effect of someone who was First Lady trying to change the trajectory or add a different dimension to what was actually going on. So I knew that the media was, that's when I knew that the media was very powerful. That depending on, you know, what you did, it would even erase what people thought of you. And I think that's where the first phase of, oh, okay, she's her own individual, and she's helping, she's making a difference in a positive way. Maybe we should look at her like that. And I think those 6 years of being First Lady, engaging the media and going down to the grassroots and helping women who were in very dire situations begin to make people look at me in a different light. That she's an individual, she has her own rights, she has her own life, and the fact of the matter is that she helped. She wasn't someone who was adding flame to the fire. She was actually trying to soften the edges where there were difficulties.
Yeah, so given your background studying commerce, how were you able to initiate that into politics? Because I meant to understand that you mentioned about having a woman banking system where loans can be offered to women, especially entrepreneurs and so on. Is it something that is in existence, or is that an initiative that you intend on embarking on?
Well, we've been talking about what to do to empower women. And the standards and the systems are created across our region. They are not friendly. They are not friendly to regular women, except you've passed the bar somewhere where you have your own property and the different things that women can do to enhance themselves, which is a very small percentage of women. The rest of the women are left below the standards. And so we've been talking about it for a while across our region. What do we do to empower women? That's how these microcredit things became a way of helping, and grants were given to women. But they're small amounts. All they do is to sustain you. It doesn't allow you to grow and develop. I'm happy today that the President of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, has decided to support the Vice President's vision of a women's bank. We have people here like Nasu, they're then talking about the Women's Green Bank. We're also talking about that in Liberia, but some countries have gone ahead. And I'm happy that the idea now of a women's bank is becoming a priority, because I think we need our own space, we need our own niche that deals with us as women in the space that we find ourselves. A lot of women don't have property, so if you want to go to the regular bank, how do you get money to increase or to grow your business? I think this will be an asset to the women of Sierra Leone, and it should become something that we can do across our region. I'm looking forward to working on that in Liberia too, because I think it's important to show women that, again, we appreciate them, we appreciate the work they've done over the years, and that they too can develop and become rich. Why when you talk about a woman, they say microcredit. So I asked one of the bankers, why is it that microcredit issues are on the table to women? You get a man that will walk in a bank and you give him millions of dollars. And when a woman comes, you say, okay, go to the microcredit section. That is totally unfair. We must be able to develop on our own.
So how do you feel being elected as president of the Influential African Women Network now?
I think it's just an opportunity to inspire other women to grow, to develop. This is not a role that you say, okay, I've gotten my laurels. It's to continue to inspire other women. And as I said during the program, there are many women across our sphere in our region that are doing great things. I met one of the first paramount chiefs that had been elected. She'd been in office for 55 years, elected as paramount chief. But they're here in Sierra Leone. There's still other areas that women, even though the Constitution says anybody can run, that women are not even allowed to get on the party ticket in some areas, because they're still saying, hey, you know, that this is not a sphere for women. So I think this position is to be an additional voice to inspire women to go beyond the ordinary. Everybody doesn't want to be a politician, but everybody is a politician depending on the sphere you find yourself. As a journalist, you are a politician because you're raising issues. You're asking why the status quo is the way it is. You're shifting perception. That's politics. How do you shift perception in a way that changes the minds of people? And so I think this is what this position would be, to help us to speak across the region and to make sure that women who aspire to be whatever they want to be can be that.
So before you go, I'd like to ask this question, because many people in the sub-region, and of course Sierra Leoneans as well, do think that your husband, Charles Taylor, played a role in our war that we had in Sierra Leone. And of course many people still blame him. What can you say to these people?
And the first thing I want to say is that as you celebrate your 65th anniversary as a nation, that war should never be an option. We could argue, we could disagree, we could protest, peaceful protests, but we should never again get to that point where war becomes an option, either for Liberians or Guineans or Sierra Leoneans.
Did he play a role in our war?
Yes, he did. And I was getting to that point.
Okay.
The fact is that Liberia and Sierra Leone share borders. And so whatever was happening here or whatever was happening in Liberia affected the war. And like I said, it should not have been an option even for Liberians. We should have found another way around it. However, we found ourselves where it was. Why did the Liberian war start? That flowed over to other countries. And that's a conversation for another day. Maybe the next time I come, we'll have time to delve into some of those issues. There was a lot of inequalities between the traditional people and those who had come to create Liberia. People felt disadvantaged. And for them, it was a chance to change the status quo and bring the traditional people on board. But when you open a Pandora's box, like a war, there are many, many, many unintended consequences. And I know that President Taylor was involved with the RUF, which were on our borders, and provided them access to our country to come and provide supplies. So it's like he was a part of what was going on. And I just pray that we never go back there. There were just too many unintended consequences. And for Liberians and Sierra Leoneans, I can only say, I pray that we will never, ever go back into that situation.
I know you're his wife, but seeing what is happening now, he's been incarcerated, he's there in prison. Do you think that is justice, or do you think that was just a witch hunt that went that way?
And that's a difficult question. First, as a lawyer, I believe it was a political trial. But it was a trial for many years. You know, it wasn't something just a few days. It took time. He had a chance to present his evidence, and in the end, they said he was responsible. What is it, the word? Respondent superior in the legal terms. That ultimately, because you were president of Liberia and you allowed access to those who were in Sierra Leone, the RUF, to come and use your territory, you too were responsible for the war. And it's because of that respondent superior term in law that he was now giving 50 years or a life imprisonment. I'm happy that those who were Sierra Leoneans have gone through the process, they've come home, they've been integrated. When I was here the last time, I went to visit the War Museum. And when we entered the museum, my security officer whispered, "Oh, your husband's picture is in this museum." I said, I'm not surprised. Because again, you know, when you talk about the war in Liberia and Sierra Leone, Charles Taylor is featured permanently. So, you know, I wanted to see what the War Museum had looked like, because we haven't done ours yet. And we're looking at how we can start. So I wanted to see, I took my time, I went through the whole process, seeing what had happened here, seeing the people involved. And I can only say I'm really sorry that we ended up with that option as a community of people, because Sierra Leoneans and Liberians are not different. We're the same. We have the same customs and traditions, that brothers could fight brothers to that point, and people actually got killed. And I'm just sorry. I pray that our country or our region never experiences it. As ECOWAS goes from a community of states down to a community of people, it's important, because you have some of these people going back and forth. Sierra Leoneans who come to Liberia, I'm an ECOWAS citizen. Liberians will come here, and to tell you the truth, when
You're watching AYV Television.
Need 50 million youths. And listen to me. If you try to alert the police, whether why are you? Now, although who then go so?
She seems so beautiful. And who is talking about beauty here? Even if you find like Mami Wata, if she lacks that overseas connection, man, count her out.
Really?
Really? Now listen, let me tell you how these things work. Firstly, the computer I'm using sucks. Like how 50 Cent token. Get rich or die trying.
As a matter of fact, I'm wearing red panties right now.
How am I supposed to know you're wearing the red panty? Well, will that be intimate?
You want to play naughty games, and I'm in the mood too, so let's start right now. Put your hands down. Do not create a scene.
It's either you cooperate with us or you are a dead man.
Are you kidding me? I should get the lion's share. You know what it is at stake in protecting criminals like me?